Hey everyone, welcome to Brown Suga Creates. This is Sugar, and I am so excited and honored that you purchased the We Love Selfies Template Multi Edition, and I hope you enjoy. What I'm going to do right quick is give you guys a short tutorial on how to use and work with the template and files that you have received. If you are already comfortable with working with Canva, then you can totally bypass this video. Please keep in mind that this Canva template does use Pro elements, so you will need a Canva Pro account in order to use all of the elements within this flyer. However, you can delete the elements that are not Canva Pro elements. So when we go through the tutorial right quick, I'm going to show you which elements are Canva Pro and which ones are free elements that you are allowed to use for those of you who have free Canva accounts. Keep in mind that everything on here is completely editable. That's why I didn't flat anything out. So you guys can edit the We Love Selfies. You can remove the heart. You can remove some of the flares. You can remove the frame. You can replace your logo. You can change the colors on text. You can delete the social media icons that you do not want to use. Everything in it is totally editable. So let's get started and I'll show you how to get going. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take you through all of the document pages that you will be seeing in the template that you have received. Once you download your PDF upon purchase, you should get a link to a WeTransfer where you will receive your files. You should have opened up the template already, the template link inside of your Canva, and you will come to this document screen. Let's scroll up. This is going to be the first thing that you see, and hopefully you have pressed play up here. That will allow you to play this first slide. It's nothing here right now, but what's going to be here is the video that you are watching now. Let's close that out. And so that's what's going to be here. Okay, and so then this is the actual template that you will receive, and you can see that everything is clickable and editable, and we'll come right back to that in a minute. These are just the promo pages that tell you what you are receiving. You are receiving also 2 AI art images that can be used for commercial use, which means as long as you upscale these, you can use these for your products. You can make stickers out of them, journals, any type of designs, whatever you want, and you are allowed to resell them as long as it's upscalable. Okay, as long as you upscale and don't sell the image or display the image exactly as is without anything else on it. Now, the template is not for commercial use, guys. It's for commercial use as far as your business, as far as personal use, but it is not allowed to be resold. I thank you in advance for not sharing, not copying, or not reselling the template files. I appreciate it. Okay, so we'll come right back to that. Right here, I also included 2 sample images for you. These are just samples, so please keep in mind that the logos here are not included in the template. These are my personal logos for my jewelry business, and I just wanted to show you some examples of what you can add to it and do to it to make it your own. This is sample number 2 with the second image that we gave you. Okay, so what you can do after you have watched the video, you can just click on this little tab right here where you have the grid view, and then all of the pages that's inside of the template will come up. Okay, and you can just move these aside, or you can totally delete these, or you can leave them there for inspiration. But this, we can move the first template to the front, and because for the first page, and this is going to be what we're going to be using. Okay, so let's get started in showing you how to manipulate the template. Okay, so we are working with the We Love Selfies template here, and as I said before, everything in here is editable, but as you know, in Canva, we have to be careful because a lot of the layers, we don't have an actual layers palette to the side like in Photoshop. If any of you guys are familiar with Photoshop, where it allows you to see all your actual layers, I will love if Canva would come with that. But they are such an awesome program already. We really couldn't ask for more. But if it was one thing that I could ask for, I would really love that. So like, for instance, if you want to get to this We Love Selfies and you do want to edit that, you're going to have to move this star beam right here, because you see the box covers the whole area. So then we will move that out the way. And then now we can get to these individual elements right here. Just in case you do want to edit the word we or the word selfies, if you click on it, you could just edit the colors right here, go up to text color, and your side panel box will open up. And then you will see right here that you can change those colors into what you want them to be. So we're going to put that back to blue because that's how the original template was, and everything is totally edible. So I'm going to put that back there. And since I did put that back there, the first thing that I do like to do is I also like to make a copy. So I'm going to go right here to duplicate page up here at the top of my template, and I'm just going to duplicate the page. And then sometimes what I like to do is I like to get in the habit of labeling your stuff. Okay, so I like to, when I do something like this, I like to label it master copy so that I'll know that this is the copy that's untouched. Okay, and then we will go and work on the copy, and you can either put copy right here or whatever you want to do, just to let yourself know that you have a copy that's has not been touched in case you mess up, and you have a copy that you're working on. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do on this copy that we're working on is we're going to click on this your image here, and we're going to remove that because we don't need that. Now, if we absolutely like this template and love this template as it is, and you don't want to do much to it except customize your own information, the first thing that we're going to do is, of course, work with the big picture frame. And it is very important that you do this in a certain way so that you won't mess up all of these other elements in here and make it much harder for yourself in order to reorder your layers back together. But if you do, you have this original copy that has not been touched. Okay, so we're going to click. We see we got all these things here, and some of them is covering other elements to where we can't get to it. We're going to click, move around till we see this big box right here, this big box highlighted, and you can tell that that is the picture frame. We're going to right click, and then we're going to go to send backward. Now you will see that you have two options here. You have send backward and you have send to back. And just like you have bring forward and bring to front, it is a big difference between those two. When doing this, it is very important that you push send backward, because that is only going to send it one layer behind, and it's going to bring that grid box that you're going to put your picture in forward. If you send it all the way to the back, then it's going to send it behind all of these flares, all of the splatter that's in the background right here, and it's going to be really hard for you to get that back to the front, because what you're going to have to do is start moving all these elements around to get to that frame to get it back up to the front, and you don't want to do that. So make sure you press send backward so that it will only send it behind one layer. So when I press send backward, you can now see that we have this little grid box here, and this is where we're going to put our image. So we're going to go over here to uploads, our side panel over here, and then what I'm just going to do is scroll down until I find an image that I want to use, and these are my pretty ladies right here. And if you guys also, if you are interested in more of these ladies, they will be on sale at my Etsy shop, so in case you want to get some more files to match the two that came with your image. So let's just take one of them that came with our image. Let's find that one, and that's this right here. So what we could do is either drag it straight over into the grid, or you can just click it and then push it over to the grid. What I'm going to do, I am doing this from a desktop, so it's a lot easier than the phone. You might have to do it different if you're editing on mobile, but I'm just going to take this and move it right over here to my picture grid. Okay, so now that we have the image back there, we're going to take this, select this box again, and we're going to right click and we're going to send backward. Once again, make sure you are sending backwards and not send to back. So if we send it backward, it's going to send it one layer behind, the same way we had it before, and now you can see that it is back behind that picture frame. And when we click off of that, we're good to go. Okay, so now we got that in there and we haven't bothered any of these other elements. But if you want to bother these other elements, you are welcome to. Now, what I'm going to do is show you which elements are free and which ones are pro. So right here, most of these, the heart, I believe is a free image, okay? The beams though, however, the star beams are not free. I've hardly ever found any color beams that's in Canva for free, but it is a lot of websites and a lot of different places that you could get free elements from if you do not have Canva Pro. But all of these beams are pro elements. The actual picture frame is a free element. Most of these flares and things like this are pro elements. Okay, the icons right here are pro elements. Everything in here is edible. Okay, so most of these things I have grouped together just for your convenience, so that way if you're not going to bother them, you don't have to bother them. You can still click on each one of these items. Even though these icons are grouped together, you can still click on each one of the items. You notice that the colors is changing right here as I click on them, so you can still click on each one and click on the color and change the color up. If you want to change those colors, you could do that without ungrouping. Now, if you don't have all of these social media platforms, and so therefore you don't need all of that on this flyer, you can right click and ungroup. And once you ungroup it, you will be able to click each one individually and delete what you don't need. And you can make them bigger or do whatever you have to do. Okay. And so I just pushed the back button because I'm going to group that back together. Right here, this is grouped as well. It says your logo here. This is just a placeholder. So if you look at my samples, I put my own logo here. And then I used the effects panel in order to change the colors because my original logo of this is actually pink. Okay, so I use the effects panel to change the colors and to make it a little bit more fun for here. But you could totally put in your own logo. If you do not have a logo, this is a nice setup right here. Again, this is grouped together, but you can you can right click and ungroup that. But you don't have to ungroup it in order to change the words if you can get to it to click on it. So I could just still click in here and type what I want right here. And then I can still go up here to my colors panel and change the individual colors. So all of this text, I could totally change the individual colors. The We Love Selfies, everything, I could totally change. Everything is edible here. And then your tagline here, okay? If you don't want to put a tagline right here, you could put a website. But the point of a We Love Selfies flyer, the reason I set it up for a tagline instead of a website is because for this particular flyer, you're not promoting them coming directly to your website. You're promoting them using your tagline on social media. So if they're posting to Facebook, they're posting to their Instagram, they're posting to wherever, you want them to use your tagline or your hashtag. You could say hashtag here as well if you want them to use your hashtag. Okay, so either way, if you have an ad and you want them to say ad, you could use that. If you want them to use a hashtag, then you could just edit this and then you can put the hashtag right here instead of the at symbol. Okay, so you can use whichever one you want here. But if you want to put a website and different information here, this don't even have to say tag us to be featured. You can write whatever tagline you want here or whatever headline, and you can write whatever you want here. Everything is totally edible. I have a little jewelry thing up here that you can't really get to it unless you move this stuff around. Let me just move it just to show you, and then you can get to this diamond strip right here. If you're not feeling that or you don't really like that, you can totally delete it. So I'm going to move this star beam back up here, and that's it, guys. Okay, so then after we get our template the way that we want it, of course, you know, we're going to press share, and we're going to press download, and we're going to pay attention to the particular page that we're on. What I often do is move my page that I'm working on to the top, to the very top, so that it will be the first page so that I don't get confused. So let me do that. Let me move that up here. Okay, and so now the one that I actually want to download is my first page. We're going to pretend like everything is done here, that we've made all of our changes. And then we're just going to press share and download. I'm downloading as a ping file. By default, the size is much lower. I usually, for social media, I usually put it on 1.5. It's pretty good for social media. You can even go up to 2, but keep in mind that the higher you go up, the bigger your file is going to be. Okay. We can just unclick off of this and unclick off of the all pages, and we could click on current page, and it's going to go to the current page, whatever current page we're on. Or you can go down into your whole drop down and find the page that you want, and you can click on multiple pages to download it at one time if you want to. Keep in mind, on your computer, if you download multiple pages, it's going to download into a zip file that you have to unzip. If you're on your phone and you download multiple pages, it will download all of those images individually for you. So that's just a quick tip. So when we click done, it's going to when we click download, it's going to download that first page, and that's it. Like I said, you're going to also find this page is going to be the first one that you're actually looking at when you open your document. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me at sugar@brownsugarcreates.com. And thanks once again so much for purchasing my template. Happy creating!